That's a funny sentence. The fungal internet. It still sounds funny. Back in 1997, Suzanne Simard of the University of British Columbia in Vancouver
made a fungal internet.
Found one of the first pieces of evidence. She showed that a Douglas fir and a paper birch tree can transfer carbon between them via mycelia. Others have since shown that plants can exchange nitrogen and phosphorus as well by the same route. These plants are not really individuals, she says. Samard now believes that these trees help out small, younger ones using the fungal internet.
I gained 2 levels. I see. I didn't spend my earlier level. I want to buff my missiles. I'm just going all missiles and money. I need to heal.
Which is not missiles or money.
Hey, health upgrade station. You get a key. $4 credits for 4 missiles. That's
how much do you get from a missile?
Like 3 credits. So that's a gain. As long as I'm accurate. How do I hit?
How do you shot missiles?
Bab! What is this mysterious circuit? I go on a frenzy for 15 seconds, and I can heal off kills. Damn it! I have 1 health. What happened? Why am I dead? My blood! Hey, here's some blood. Found some pieces of blood on the floor.
Let's see here. Without this help, she thinks many seedlings wouldn't survive. In a 1997 study, seedlings in the shade, which are likely to be short of food, got more carbon from donor trees. Donor trees.
Trees.
They're not really individuals in the sense that Darwin thought they were individuals competing in survival of the fittest, said Simard. In the 2011 documentary, Do Trees Communicate? In fact, they are interacting with each other, trying to help each other survive. So plants are the diplomats of the world, apparently.
Plants are friend?
They will still go to war, but they are diplomats.
There are plant crimes?
Yes.
What are these crimes?
Invading territory. Trespassing, as it were.
Where's the white flea? There's the white flea. There! I'm still in super danger-topia.
However, it's controversial how useful these nutrient transfers really are. We certainly know it happens, but it is less clear is the extent to which it happens, says Lynn Boddy, B-O-D-D-Y, of Cardiff University in the UK. While that argument rages on, other researchers have found evidence that plants can go one better and communicate through them. See, this is what I was trying to find this whole time. In 2010, Sen Rensang of South China Agricultural University in Guangzhou province found that when plants are attached by harmful fungi, they release chemical signals to the mycelia that warn their neighbors. Tomato plants can eavesdrop on defense responses.
What? Tomatoes specifically?
That must have been the example.
Tomatoes are well known for eavesdropping on other plants.
Yeah, they're jerks. They eavesdrop. But they make some of the most delicious food.
Like the potato soup.
Like salsa.
And grep. You have salsa, don't you?
No, I've eaten most of it. Zhang's team grew pairs of tomato plants in pots. Some of the plants were allowed to form mycorrhiza. Once the fungal networks had formed, the leaves of one plant in each pair were sprayed with Alternaria solani, a fungus that causes early blight disease. Airtight plastic bags were used to prevent any above-ground chemical signaling between plants, because they do also communicate via chemicals sent through the air.
Smalls.
After 65 hours, Zhang tried to infect the second plant in each pair. He found that they were much less likely to get blight, and had significantly lower levels of damage when they did, if they had mycelia. So yeah, they can totally warn other plants nearby to develop defenses, and they can actually share defense chemicals via the roots system and the mycelia.
Plants are friends?
Yeah.
Can I plants?
Finish responsive and increase their defense resistance against that
Defense resistance.
Disease resistance. Yeah, they're more protected from defense. Their disease resistance against potential pathogens. Zhang and his colleagues wrote, so not only do the mycorrhiza allow plants to share food, they help defend themselves. It's not just tomatoes that do this.
Oh, it said that?
Yes. In 2013, David Johnson of the University of Aberdeen and his colleagues showed that broad beans also use fungal networks to pick up on impending threats.
Oh my god.
In this case, hungry aphids, so they can also protect from animals.
How?
Johnson found that broad bean seedlings that were not themselves under attack by aphids, but were connected to those that were, via fungal mycelia, activated their anti-aphid chemical defenses. Those without mycelia did not. Some form of signaling was going on between these plants about herbivory by aphids, and those signals were being transported through the mycorrhizal mycelial networks.
This is interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah, I know.
Oh, plants communicate.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating.
So the thing about cut grass, releasing a chemical that attracts predatory insects, that's totally plausible.
Yeah.
That explains that one time I was mowing the lawn and there were just dragonflies everywhere.
Yeah, because they'll come and eat the things that will try and be eating the plants.
Dragonflies eat lawnmowers.
There's still a long time for that to happen, and the oxygen level needs to increase, and they need to manage to figure out how to form joints that do not struggle under the weight of air versus water.
What?
Scorpions can grow colossal underwater, but once they surface onto land, and
then the square cube wall says hi.
Yeah, and they can't move their limbs as well because of the way limbs form in.
What does that have to do with eating lawnmowers?
If they could become giant, they could eat lawnmowers.
I don't.
But if they become giant, they can't move.
I don't think they can. They're hard enough. Anyway, let's die. Okay, Wallmaster. He's not the scariest.
He still doesn't look like a hand. Well, no. Now the scariest is the one that we can't seem to figure out how on earth it works at all.
Right. I mean, this guy is not a big threat, really. He just does this.
He just takes you back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Right, and fast travel is practically a thing in this. Oh, pay attention. I did the wrong. I have like one health, right?
Yes.
No, that's 3. Okay, no big deal. All right, what did I get? Recovery mode. Carrying this it's an amulet of life saving. Okay, that's good.
That's definitely not bad.
I mean, it feels sort of bittersweet that you lose it, but it's good.
Let's see here.
It just makes you sad when you die as a secondary effect.
But just like the human internet, the fungal internet has a dark side. Our internet undermines privacy and facilitates... Yes.
Fungus porn?
I don't know that porn is dark. I mean, there is dark types, yeah.
Fungal pedophilia.
Yes, that's what it's about. It's all wrong. It's so bad.
It's also don't understand.
And we're going to start putting plants in jail. Our internet undermines privacy and facilitates serious crime, and frequently allows computer viruses to spread. Oh, so it can spread disease via the mycelia as well.
And this is a crime.
I mean, technically, if it's done maliciously, and frequently allows computer viruses to spread. In the same way, plants' fungal connections can mean that they are never truly alone, and that malevolent neighbors can harm them.
Malevolent plants.
Yeah. For one thing, some plants steal from each other using the internet.
You wouldn't download a tree!
We've made that reference twice now in this.
But this time it's actually relevant?
No, last time it kind of was too. You said you wouldn't download a something. I don't remember.
I said a tree before.
There are plants that don't have chlorophyll, so unlike most plants, they cannot produce their own energy through photosynthesis. Some of these plants, such as the phantom orchid, that sounds...
Spook.
It sounds like a movie title, the phantom orchid. Get the carbon they need from nearby trees via the mycelia of fungi that they are both connected to. Other orchids only steal when it suits them. These mixotrophs can carry out photosynthesis, but they also steal carbon from other plants using the fungal network that leaks them.
Fred.
So Let's see here.
Yes, please.
So I guess that means that orchids are almost like
ninjas.
Fungi that came from plants, because they have to eat from another plant.
Wait, they can't photosynthesize?
No, they cannot.
But they have leaves.
They don't have chlorophyll in their leaves.
But they're green.
They don't have chlorophyll, though. There's other things that can make it green. The cell wall makes them green as well.
Weird.
Let's see here.
Alright.
See, so this is the kind of biology you wish you'd learned about.
Yeah, instead of the process of DNA replication. I wish I could learn about, like...
I mean, DNA replication is interesting. It's just... Science classes are...
It's too small.
So dense is a big part of it.
Oh no, it's the bad boomerang! It's so bounce!
That might not sound too bad. However, plant cybercrime can be much more sinister than a bit of petty theft.
That's what we're calling it.
Plants have to plants have to compete with their neighbors for resources like water and light. As part of that battle, some release chemicals that harm rivals. This allelopathy is quite common in trees.
Allele is a fun word.
Including acacias, sugarberries, American sycamores, and several species of eucalyptus.
Really?
They release substances that either reduce the chances of other plants becoming
sentient,
established nearby, or reduce the spread of microbes around their roots.
So eucalyptus is a jerk.
Yes. Skeptical silences. Skeptical silences. What is that? I guess that's like a judging, like...
but it's quiet.
Have 0 credits leaving this floor. That sounds specific and difficult.
What happened?
To get the bonus on this floor, you have to have 0 credits going.
Oh, I said 5. When I picked up, it said 5 or less. Oh yeah, 0 sounds like undoable, apparently. Missiles!
You need missiles to get missiles?
Isn't that the way it always has been?
It takes missiles to make missiles.
Drug beam!
Skeptical scientists doubt that allelopathy helps these unfriendly plants much. Surely, they say, the harmful chemicals would be absorbed by the soil or broken down by microbes before they could travel too far. But maybe plants can get around this problem by harnessing the underground fungal networks that cover greater distances. In 2011, chemical ecologist Catherine Morris and her colleagues set out to test this theory. Morris...
I need to go as soon as this runs over.
Morris, formerly Bartow...
Missile on kill. You know what? That's what we're going. I'm going on. Missiles. Missile, give me missile. That's what I'm all about.
Grew golden marigolds in containers with mycorrhizal fungi. The pots contained cylinders surrounded by a mesh, with holes small enough to keep roots out of the large enough to let in mycelia. Half of these cylinders were turned regularly to stop fungal networks growing in them. The team tested the soil in the cylinders for 2 compounds that made marigolds.
This is science!
Which can slow the growth of other plants and kill nematode worms.
Oh no! Oh god! Oh, it was the fast, excited guy. Oh god, missiles everywhere.
Hey, I was saying that. Stop it. In cylinders where the fungi were allowed to grow, levels of the 2 compounds were 179% and 280% higher than the cylinders without fungi. That suggests that mycelia really did transport the toxins. The team then grew lettuce seedlings in the soil from both sets of containers. After 25 days, those grown in the more toxin-rich soil weighed 40% less than those in soil isolated from the mycelium.
The toxins were bad?
Yeah. These experiments show that the fungal networks can transport these chemicals in high enough concentrations to affect the plant's growth. So basically what they're saying is the ones where it grew outside of there and spread to a farther distance, it still was high enough to prevent the plants from growing.
As much.
Yeah.
And plants are very competitive.
Says Morris, who is now
Pit people, PvP.
based at Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, dang, I accidentally turned on walk mode while running.
In response, some have argued that the chemicals might not work as well outside of the lab, so Michaela A. Schatz of the Berlin...
I don't want to get rid of my recovery module. Not now.
Of the Berlin Free University in Germany and her colleagues looked for a similar effect in the wild. One of the best studied examples of allelopathy is the American black walnut tree. It inhibits the growth of many plants, including staples like potatoes and cucumbers, by releasing a chemical called jugalone.
That's a stupid name.
Jugalone? I don't know. Jugalone. From its leaves and roots. A. Schatz and her team placed pots around the walnut trees, some of which fungal networks could penetrate. Those pots contained almost 4 times more jugalone than the pots
solar
that were
flare
rotated
gun.
to keep out the fungal connections.
What's
It's cool looking. It's slow though.
What's this major corrosive module? No, don't give me modules. My current module saves me from death.
The roots of tomato seedlings planted in the richer soil weighed on average 36% less.